I'm so glad that you want to know more about the daily gratitude attitude. I made this journaling workbook actually for me because I wanted to improve my attitude that I struggled with of just being grateful. Because when you are grateful, you don't struggle as much with melancholy or depression. Now, you may not have those problems, but if you are currently struggling with melancholy, with a negativity mindset where in your head you always think negative thoughts about what's happening or about yourself, um, you're discontent maybe in the house, you don't like the house that you live in currently, or the area of the country or world that you live in, or you're dealing with grief because you lost your husband or a loved one, um, because he died, or even you can be grieving because he left you and in some way divorced or separated. um, Maybe you have health issues, or your children do. Um, Maybe you have kid issues. We all have those. I think if we have kids, it just seems inevitable. And maybe you're in a difficult marriage and don't want to give up. So, if you're ready to learn with me, this journal is just a simple journal you do on your own. This isn't a class, but it will help you to be grateful and have a transformed mindset. It'll help you learn contentment, turn your sorrow into joy. It doesn't take the sorrow away necessarily, but it helps you to cope with it when you're grateful. And it helps you to rely on God's strength instead of yours if you are constantly doing things not meaning to. In your head you might be saying I'm doing it in God's strength, but in reality we do so many things in our own strength all day long, all every day. um, it'll help you see your children as blessings instead of little struggles or teenage struggles that you're dealing with. And it'll help you experience how gratitude changes your marriage, because it just gives you a better outlet on your husband, to the situation in your marriage, whatever it would be, the sin that both of you might have. And believe me, it's not just your husband. Um, Trust me. So, I'm introducing to you the Daily Gratitude Attitude Journal. And I have it here. I told you I made it for myself. I have several of my journals in this binder. I print them. You can print them. They're beautiful. You'll see they have beautiful colors, but I print them in black and white because I don't have a colored printer. And there's 16 days to this. You could reprint them and you can make it longer, whatever you want. And it will transform your attitude, your mindset attitude in just 16 days. It can do that. It starts to set a new habit. And but you have to put the work in. You will find the Daily Gratitude Attitude Journaling Workbook has 16 pages, and it will be exactly what you need the most. And it will inspire you to draw closer to Jesus as you read, study, and apply scripture to your life. You have to put in the work. It's not just that this is a magical thing that you have, that once you download it, you've got all these things. Okay, so what does this come with? What will you get when you download it and buy it? Okay, you'll have a daily, this is the front page. It's got beautiful yellows and like fall type colors, because I often think of doing this in the fall, but I don't even think I did it in the fall. So I'm going to show you. It has Bible verses. You can cut those out if you wanted to. Um, and there's these pages. As you can see, I do them myself. So I don't just make them for you. I do the whole thing. And um, sometimes I will really get into a verse, and it'll take more than one day, or I'll divide things up, and you'd be surprised how far this can take you. Other days, it's shorter. But what it is that you first do the scripture journaling, where you write out the scripture, just one or two verses. Sometimes I do more. And then you have observational journaling, and it's you explaining what that verse or passage is about. And application journaling is How does it apply to your life? How can you apply what the Lord is saying to you? So you write that down, which makes you actually interact with it. And then a prayer that you write to God about all that you just did. That's what it is, but it comes with one scripture memory sheet. That's where I had the scriptures that I said you could cut them apart. It has 6 Bible verses, but you could take this as far as you wanted. You could start like looking up other verses on being thankful or having gratitude, words that you think you can find in the Bible, and write them out. You could take this to be like a word study or whatever you wanted to help you to grow in gratitude. And there are 9 other Bible verses on the various printables. And so that there's 9 throughout the whole thing. And you can pace yourself according to the time you have, whether you have 10 minutes or you have a half an hour to spend with the Lord. And I do understand a busy schedule because I had a lot of kids that I raised, like 7 of them. So that I understand where you go through times when it's very hard to find that time, but it is possible. Um, it's a self-directed study where you spend as much time as you have with the Lord and and get into his word. I want to encourage you to get into his word. That's what I want you to do. So thanks for listening to this. Okay, so have a wonderfully blessed day.